Attention! Mermaids in this video are part fish, part human. Which part is fish and which part is human does not matter. Now enjoy the video. Ceasg from Scottish mythology. They are half human and half salmon. Of course, the salmon half is the tail. They are known to seduce sailors and lure them into the sea. What happens to the men in the sea is unknown, but they never return home, so presumably dead. Now, the best thing you should do when encountering them is to never try anything with them, because you can disappear in the abyss if you become enchanted, though you might be one of the lucky ones to satisfy their curiosity. They are said to be able to shapeshift into fully human and marry the man that caught their attention, though the marriage never lasts long as they would become bored and go back to sea, leaving their husband and their children. It is said their offspring would become great sailors or have a talent that has something to do with the sea. Other than that, the Ceasg is also said to be able to grant 3 wishes if captured in exchange for her release. When the 3rd wish is granted, she would disappear into thin air, probably teleported by magic when certain conditions are met. Ningyo from Japanese folklore. There are a lot of different descriptions of the Ningyo, from having a fish head and human body, to the upper body of a human and bottom of a fish, to completely fish-like but with a humanoid face and arms that has sharp claws. The obvious difference it has with the mermaids we see in movies and cartoons is that the Ningyo always looks hideous and nightmarish, so they don't try to seduce or enchant people to come near them. They rather have nothing to do with humans. But they are magical beings that if they were ever caught by humans, they can place a curse on the human and ensure that a tsunami would come. The only reason why people want to catch a Ningyo, even with knowing they could get cursed, is that people believe that by eating their flesh, their life would be extended and youth would be granted. Lara from Brazilian mythology. She is a beautiful, immortal woman with long greenish hair, light brown or copper-colored skin, and a lower body of a fish or serpent. She also has a great voice which she uses to lure men towards her. The Lara would be found sitting on a rock by the river and combing her hair while basking under the sun. The man she enchanted would be persuaded to leave everything he has and come with her into the river, where she promised he would live like a king while she caters to his every need. Is that the truth? We would never be sure of it, because for all we know she could eat them when no one is watching. But lore has stated that the men would be catered for the rest of their life, their long or short life. Siyokoy and Sirena from Filipino folklore. Sirenas are the typical mermaid we know and love. They use their enchanting voice and beauty to attract men further into the ocean, either drowning them in the end or taking them into their underwater kingdom. But what makes them special is that their tears are said to be able to grant people immortality, and that they don't like humans at all. Then there's the Siyokoy. They are the male counterpart of the Sirena. They are humanoid creatures that either have a fishtail or scaled legs with webbed toes, or even a fish head with scaly human limbs. They are said to be leaders and protectors of the sea, and just like the Sirenas, they don't like humans as well. They would definitely attack humans or any vessels that trespass into their territory. Melusine from European folklore. The stories of the Melusine can be found in France, Germany, Luxembourg, and even as far as Albania during the medieval times. Now she is famous for being the nameless mermaid found in the Starbucks logo, well, at least a variation of the Melusine, because the Melusine was depicted as a woman who has a serpent or fish-like lower body, but sometimes she would also have wings or 2 tails, or even both at the same time. There are a lot of varying stories of her, and one legend says that the French Lusignan royal house that ruled Cyprus from the year 1192 to 1489 were the descendants of Melusine. Well, a few other royals have also claimed to be descendants as well. Now, her story always revolves around her mermaid form being found out while bathing. One of the stories that are often told starts like this. Melusine was a beautiful woman that is cursed. Her curse was that every time she bathes, everything waist down would turn into a fish-like tail or that of a serpent. So she lives in the forest out of people's eyes. Or she could be a fairy of the forest, you pick. Anyways, one day, Raymond, the Duke of Aquitaine, saw her and begged her to marry him. She agreed with the condition that he never disturb her whenever she wants privacy, which apparently is always a Saturday. So they achieved an agreement, they got married, and everything seemed fine. They even had children together, around 10 or more. But curiosity can be a bad thing, because not knowing sets the imagination wild, and the Duke became suspicious of Melusine, suspicious of adultery. So he decided to break the promise and spied on his wife. But rather than adultery, he saw her true form. Shocked at the truth, after days of confusion, he called her a serpent. That's when she knew he had broken the promise. So Melusine, sad that the promise was broken, transformed into a dragon-like being, wailed in disbelief, and flew off never to be seen again.